How's it going? This is Dave with Stumptown Stairs, and I'm on site. We've got a ways to go here, waiting for sheetrock, we're waiting for floors, and we'll be on the way. I'm not real sure exactly how long that'll go, but how long that'll take, rather. But soon enough, we'll have some oak treads in here and risers, and we'll have a nice skirting that come out, and we'll match it with 45-degree angle, so just mesh into this perfectly, and we'll come up to the top and do a continuous piece all the way across that beam. Kind of close that off and probably allow the nosing to come over the edge from the flooring, over the edge, round off, and then probably slip a piece of 3-inch or maybe wider, kind of like a baseboard material, to run across to there and meet the riser back this direction. Probably try to figure out something. I think I'll make some kind of like an angled joint here so that they come together, maybe it look cool, or maybe just keep it square. But you know, lots to do, lots to think about. So this is kind of I guess it's not a new problem, it's the same problem every time you've got concrete. And anytime you need to join a post, so you need a post at the end of the rail, anytime you need that post, it's got to be sturdy. And it's not the easiest thing to do if you've got heated floors in the concrete. So I'm not going to be drilling into the floor at all, and I'm going to avoid that and try to do it a different way. And that's part of this reason here. I've got, if you notice, this is one solid piece that's 3.5 inches wide. This is a 4x12, and a nice piece of wood. It is expensive, but this is going to keep this outside rail intact. It's going to help strengthen everything up, and it'll help it remain, you know, for years down the road with no problems. And you know, part of keeping it sturdy is this blocking. Every 4 feet, we've got blocking all the way up and down, and even underneath. The blocking underneath is actually the remainders of that 4x12, and I cut chunks to fit. You can kind of see back here, if you can see back there, but maybe that way. These 4x12 chunks are all linked together, so I use big leg bolts, and bolted each one to the next one all the way through, and then it's connected to this wall. And the point of that is so that any kind of force being pushed on this rail, on the post, the newel post that comes here, any kind of force being pushed should be distributed through that end tread, that very first step, and all of this should be able to be linked back towards that wall, essentially. Just one piece, one connected piece. It should be strong. So this will have to be notched a little bit to be put in line. I'll have a big craftsman style post here, and this post will be a box newel craftsman. So it's square, and then it kind of shrinks down in the middle about 4 inches. It starts off at 6 at the base, and then goes up to 4, and then kind of branches out again to like 6 or so, and I'll have like a kind of a pyramid cap on top of that. And from there, we'll have the white oak rail come from the top portion and run up to this post up here. It'll be another box newel post, and it'll have the same you know, design and everything is this one down here. And then it'll run, the white oak rail will run across there, around 37 inches or so tall. And I haven't decided if it'll work to put a box newel over here, because I don't really want to like cut off part of its, like the backside. I don't want to have to shave the backside of it to kind of mesh it up against that steel. I'd rather it sits naturally, just like a full piece. But if I do that and I don't connect it to the steel, then it's not quite as strong, and I'm gonna have to rely on either offsetting it on the inside so that it can sit notched and on top of the beam, and then also have like a leg that comes down through the floor and can sit right in here and then be bolted to this face of the beam. The homeowner doesn't want any kind of exposed face mounted posts, so I'm avoiding that and trying to do top mount or put it further back on the backside so I can do a face mount from the backside, which will all be concealed once the sheetrock comes in. And if that's the case, then I've got to do the same thing on this, and they need to be in alignment. And somewhere about in here, I would have the post notched and brought back this way, and so it can dip down through the floor and bolt to this face of the beam, which would be cool. The only problem is doing that means it just means that the railing up here that runs along this face will have to be offset this direction. So it's gonna have to come this way, which you lose a little bit of this walkway here, and which isn't that big, honestly. So we lose a little bit of space here if I do that. And I think I'd prefer to have it really close to the edge. I mean, not on the edge, because we're gonna have like a bull nosing that'll come through here and, you know, overhang that about like 3/4 of an inch. It'll overhang this floor. And I'd like to have that post just set back right off the edge, real nice and even, and then it can run and split, ideally right centered on that post down there, that steel column. And that would make it, you know, the most opening for here and give you the most floor space up here. Not like 6 inches is a big difference, but you know, maybe it is. And if it were just offset a little bit, I think the worst it would be like 3, maybe 4 inches back. So I guess it's not that big of a deal, but it is something I'm trying to plan, and I want it to be very nice. It will be nice. And so we've got the box newels, we talked about that. And there'll be one there at the bottom, one up here at the top, and one down there. And in between the box newels, every 4 feet in between the box newels, I'll have a 1.5 inch steel post. And it'll come down to a plate, and the plate will just be bolted straight to the top of the beam. And it'll be bolted to the top of this outside stringer on each tread. Not each tread, but I think it's every 4 or 5 treads. There'll just be 2 in there. So like every 4 tread, there'll be a post, and it'll be in line with the steel balusters. So just perfectly centered in between the steel balusters. They'll have a black baluster that'll come up to the rail. So the rail is going to be here, and it'll come up to this post there, and then shoot off this way at about my height that my fingers are showing, I guess. And that white oak square rectangular rail will have balusters that'll come up, you know, like pickets, and they'll come up into the rail on the underside of it. They'll slot into a hole and get glued, and then slot into a hole in the floor and get glued. And it's up to the homeowner if they want the little square sleeves to go on each baluster. Just an extra little detail. But if they don't, it'll look good either way. And the same thing. So the rail will come through here all the way down to that post. And then on each step, there'll be 2 balusters. And they'll be equally spaced. And they'll be just perfect on each tread. And they'll come down from the railing and insert into the tread. And it'll just look super fantastic to me, I think. Now over here, we've got a skirting board that runs across the top of the tread. And this blocking in there assures that I have something to nail and fasten the skirting board to. And so the skirt board's basically 3/4 inch thick by about 10 inches tall, 10 to 12 inches tall. We haven't decided yet. But so it'll be a wide strip of wood that'll come down, and it'll act as a kick plate basically. So you can't just kick your foot right through the sheetrock and say hello to whoever's in the garage. We're gonna avoid that and we'll put this kick plate up there. Not like you could kick through any of that blocking anyway, but so that's what that string of wood up there is. That's what it's for. I gotta switch my hand, it's cold out here. I think it's about 17 degrees. But anyways, so that skirting will come up, it'll come to here, and it'll be fit to connect to the baseboard. And whatever baseboard they choose, we'll have it designed so that the baseboard will come from here across, and then this skirting here can be 45 or probably 45. Hopefully it's 45 if anything's square. And it'll be connected here and just perfectly matched so that it'll be one seamless kind of piece of molding that would run around this corner, you know, and look like it belongs there. And then the handrail, which is yet to be designed, but I think a cool, like an 1.5 square tube, you know, that's just matte black or maybe glossy black, but that's up to them for color. I guess everything else is matte black, but something that would be easy to clean and durable. So definitely powder coated, and have it come down, you know, start at the bottom there, and I think have it come flat and then turn up to the angle and join every 4 feet or so with a nice bracket, custom bracket, and terminate up here right at the very top of the step. And we could either flatten off for a second here, you know, 3 inches or so, and do that, you know, come up and then flatten off right there and bolt to that wall there. But then again, it might be, you know, maybe you don't want something exactly right here. Maybe you do want to just stick to code and keep it directly above this this very last step at the top. And from there, we'll have that skirting along the outside also, and we'll have the white oak. The white oak will be stained to match the cabinets downstairs. That's, so nothing's here yet, but there's still some things to figure out. I think most of the tough stuff has been done. We'll see. It's always an adventure. And what else can I tell you about? It's got a lot of blocking. This will be their little closet slash pantry. I think this will be mainly for the water heater system. So this is all the N4 piping that we're talking about, or I was talking about. This whole system runs throughout this slab all the way around the house, and it's, you know, that N4 heated system. So if that's the case, and it's 4 inches deep, I better not run that 7-inch bolt into the slab there, because that wouldn't be any fun for anything. But yeah, thanks for Thanks for tuning in. This is kind of my first little show. It's nice and snowy out, bright as can be, but I'm gonna get back to doing stuff, so we'll talk to you later. Bye.